Hello, everyone. Yeah, yesterday on the Pongal day, I watched the Den of Thieves Pantera movie. I watched this at the Colombo City Center, Sri Lanka. The movie was absolutely amazing, especially the opening sequence. So, if you have seen the previous movie in 2018 one, it also starts with like a failed heist in a band on a truck, like which comes into play in the last part of the first movie. So this movie also start with a very fantastic opening sequence. And also when talking about the movie, since the first movie was released in 2018, it is important to point out that you have to rewatch the first movie again. Even if you are remember the storyline of the first movie, you have to watch it again in order to like catch up with the everything that's happening in this movie. This is not a connection of the storyline of previous movie, but it has like very clear strong reference to the first part of this movie. So the movie budget was around like 40 million, which is like kind of low for this type of movie, but since it is releasing on January, not a very peak time for Hollywood, it is good that they go for this type of budget other than failing at the box office and failing to get a revenue. After all, I think they have like overall target the home screenings, home media when it is releasing on digital, especially later on there, so they can like ke- catch up and drag this for like next 10 to 15 years in home media and stuff as a good action movie to watch at home. But if you are a fan of like Denzel Washington or Mark Wahlberg or any of such movies that are basically releasing on the month of January or not like months like October, like Statham movies. If you're a fan of such movies, you got to see this movie. If you are a fan of like movies like Beekeeper, I think you can enjoy this movie pretty much. So overall, this movie is like running for like over like 2 hours, very lengthy movie, and even this is running for 2 hours. In the opening sequences and few times they have like action sequences in the beginning, but later on they like little bit like drag the extra line to one final heist at the end of the movie. So if you are a fan of heist movies, you see this movie and keep in mind that these are type of movies that keep the best things for the last sequence or last act of the movie. So if you want like bang bang action throughout all the time in a movie, this is not the type of movie that you go see in the biggest screen possible. This is definitely not a family movie, especially you have like kids below the age of 13. I don't recommend to bring them there because there is like strong violence, there is no much sexual stuff throughout this movie, but there are strong violence words and like stuff saying throughout this movie, not like good for like very young kids. If the kid is age more than 15 years old, I think it's all right to watch this movie with them, especially nowadays like kids have like seen and listening to more than that the teenagers, right? So that is everything I have to tell about this movie. Overall, I really enjoy the storyline, the music and stuff, and also the plot twist at the end. There is a, like at the very end there is some plot is happening like in the previous movie, but it was little bit like over the top. But I think that we have to come into agreement with the movie, the makers, and like and enjoy the movie as it is, because these are not like 100% realistic stuff. So what's happening in that end of movie? But if you are like reading stories what's happening in Mexico in real things, there those are also like in the movies now. So if you are reading those stuff online, and then you can like come into like agreement with what's happening, some over the top sequences in this movie, so you can tell okay these things also happen in Mexico, Another part of the world these things happen. The gangs have done these things. They have like sometimes helicopters, ships, lorries, buses, submarines, and aircraft and everything in some countries, and some like underground like stuff, and also some ships without flags were controlled by some these drug mafias and worldwide mafias. So that is some things that happening in our world right now. So with those things, you can imagine that these over the top sequences are have some like realistic stuff also. So that's my take. I goes with like 6.5 start out of 10. I am planning to see the Flight Freaks next week, and also do reviews on the every movie that's coming out in throughout this time. So due to one of my videos which I've done mostly in single is some Indians started watching the TV, watching my channel, and like following my stuff in here, and some views I'm getting through those. So that's why I decided to like do my review in English, so anyone who is joining can understand. So that's my basically like plan here. So if you like to see the reviews more and stuff, read more stuff about movies and just first hand experience about the movies I review, just subscribe and support me. See you guys soon.